off here. Hey guys, happy Sunday, you guys. I feel like my lighting is kind of off, but I think we'll be okay, right? I think we'll be okay. Um, this should work. We'll be good. I'll say happy Sunday. Happy Thursday, you guys. Happy Thursday. I came on here to try to get situated. I know I missed last Sunday's live, but I wanted to hop on here today and catch up. We got some new foreclosure reports that have come out. Hello, Raymond. Welcome, you guys. Happy Thursday. I want to come on here, make sure you can hear me, see me clearly. The lighting is a little different, but I think we'll be okay. Hi, welcome everybody. Tell me where you're from. Let me know if you can hear me, see me. I'm here about 3 minutes early just to make sure we are. Hi, Joan. Just to make sure y'all can hear me, see me. Everything is working loud and clear from Delaware. I see you. Welcome from Delaware. First live, checking in from Seattle. Come on, Washington. Welcome. It's your first one. Hope you enjoy it. Just know I can talk. Your girl can talk a little bit. Texas by way of Chicago, New York, Maryland. Yes. So new foreclosure numbers came out, you guys, today. We are at the halfway point for 2024. So we're about to do like a mid-year check-in. If you follow me on Instagram, I just posted a reel. I posted one on YouTube. I posted one on TikTok. But let's jump into the numbers here for sure. Okay. Jersey, welcome. Good to see Auction Mama. Yes, I see you from Memphis. I know Women of Wealth. Wow. Jersey, y'all are on the list too. I think Maryland, are y'all on the Chicago, John? You know, Chicago always on the list. Texas always on the list. But we're going to jump into it. HUD released their report. I did a video on that last week, but we'll dive deep into those numbers. I saw Travis from Real Estate Mindset did a video on it too. So yeah, we'll jump into HUD's numbers. We'll jump into states and cities with the most foreclosures, highest foreclosure starts, highest foreclosure rates, REOs, everything. We getting into the nitty gritty for the second half of 2024. You guys, my light's a little off. I'm in a different spot, but I think we're okay. As long as y'all can hear me and see me and the Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi-ing. If the Wi-Fi is good and strong, we're going to be all right. You know what I mean? You were talking to an investor in California. Cool. Yay. You know, tell them I said hello from California, right? Welcome, you guys. We got about 1 minute. I always try to jump on here and make sure all the cylinders are firing, right? Because you know how Wi-Fi can get sometimes. But let's jump in. Let's talk about everything I auctioned yesterday. I'm uploading a new video on the channel tomorrow. I did have an auction yesterday. I was in Mississippi at the courthouse. Tremont, welcome, everybody. I love to see everybody. It looks like we got a lot of like Northeast people over here, like Delaware, Maryland, New York, Jersey. Danita, Colette is here. You are early. We have not even started. I'm still on the intro. Atlanta, Nashville. Okay, neighbor, Danita, and we got Nashville in there, South Carolina, Colette. Chicago, y'all on the list too for foreclosures. You know what I mean? Colette, what's going on in South Carolina? Spartanburg and Columbia, South Carolina. That needs to be on everybody's like watch list right now. Colette, you need to be trying to take over in South Carolina because y'all got, I don't know what's going on down there, but we'll jump into the numbers, you guys. It's 8 o'clock. Let's get started, you guys. Welcome, everybody. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. I am Ashley Pickens. I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee, you guys. I have been in real estate since 2006, you guys. That's like 18 years. 18 years as a real estate agent, as a real estate broker, also as your auction mama. Y'all, I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse. I am that person that says going once, going twice, sold. That is your girl. That's okay, Danita. That's okay. You see me all the time. I'm at the courthouse here in Shelby County, which is Memphis, parts of Mississippi. Sometimes I'm in Nashville auctioning. So that is what I do. And I come on here and I try to share information about the housing market, foreclosures, auctions, and all that, you guys. I love the distressed market. That is what I specialize in. I'm not going to come on here and tell you about homes on the market, new sales, build, none of that. Y'all, I specialize in the distressed market. That's RAOs, auctions, foreclosures, all of those things, probate, airship. That is my jam. That is what I do. So I try to come on here and share some information with you. So we got a lot of new numbers out, right? We are at the halfway point for 2024. Yes, we have made it to mid-year 2024. So numbers have come out. States, cities with the highest foreclosure rates. You guys, wait till I tell y'all like the timeline for foreclosures right now. The average time it takes for a home to go through the foreclosure process from start to finish. Y'all, what do y'all, how many days? Y'all guess how many days. And then when we get there, we'll see who was right. How many days do you think is the average timeline it is taking for properties to go through foreclosure from start, from when they first get that notice of default all the way until the bank repossesses their property? So y'all guess how long these people are in foreclosure. Y'all think about that before you type your answer. Before you type your answer, how long? Listen to the listen to the question. From when the bank, okay, say they get behind. We're not starting there from how many when they get behind, but from when the bank files that first notice. Keep in mind, you guys, y'all know there are 3 stages in the foreclosure process, right? Usually the homeowner gets behind on their mortgage for 3 months. Then they file, then the bank will file that notice of default. Then their auction is scheduled, and then the bank repossesses their property. Okay. So the question is, how long do y'all think it is taking for them to get that notice filed all the way for the property to be repossessed? So put your answers in and we're going to jump in those numbers. Okay. That's so crazy. So okay, I see those answers. I see the answers. 3 months, 2 years, 365 days, 9 months, 210. Jackie from Round Rock, 18 months. Okay, everybody got their answer. Put your answer in the box, and then we will see who is the closest. We got 300 days. We'll see who the closest is. Let's jump into some of these numbers. Y'all know I've been trying to have like a little flow when it comes to these lives, but do I ever stay on the itinerary? No, I do not. So let's do, y'all know there's a couple of sites I like to go to so y'all can look. Let's look at, hold on, I'm gonna share my screen with you all. I know I need y'all to blink. I see you, Jackie, with 15 months. Let's see. We'll see how close everybody is when we jump into the numbers. Can y'all see my screen? Y'all know I like daily job cuts. Let's go into that because, you know, when you watch the news, the job market is strong. Unemployment is, they said unemployment is creeping up a little bit. You know what I mean? But, you know, do you ever think, like, here I go. Y'all know how I get. You know, they want the feds to cut rates, right? They want Jerome to cut these rates. We also are coming up on an election, right? So I feel like, do you ever feel like somebody's watching you? I'm just kidding. Do you ever feel like they can like manipulate these numbers, right? You know, how much does it take for you to just type in unemployment is where it is? You know what I mean? Like, we need these rates to go down. We need to show proof that the rates are going down. How do we show proof? Okay, we need they're waiting for the unemployment rate to go up, right? Okay, somebody type in unemployed, job loss. You know what I mean? Like, how difficult is it to manipulate numbers? Is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Or if it's like we need to create more jobs, somebody be like, okay, type in 100,000. Okay, release it to the press. You know what I mean? Like, how hard? I just, you know what I mean? It's, y'all know what I'm saying, right? So now as we get close to the election, I'm sure they're going to want Jerome to cut these rates. You know what I mean? So people like, oh, the rates are cut. Let's vote for whoever cut the rates. You know what I mean? Like, when you start getting close to an election, everybody, and y'all know me, I don't care anything about either candidate. That's not what this channel is about. That's not what I talk about. But the closer you get to an election, you know, promises, false promises, numbers come out. I can promise to do this. I'm going to do, you know what I mean? So I know it would look favorable if the rates went down before an auction, right? Not an auction, y'all, election. Y'all know what I'm saying. So I see unemployment is creeping up, right? Anyway, I was just wondering, how hard do you think it is for people to manipulate the numbers, right? Like, who writing the report? Who's sending in the report to the news? You know what I mean? Add a zero to that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, who's to say? But anyway, that's neither here nor there, right? OG, yeah, he ain't cutting them rates. We'll see. Jerome been standing on business for the last year or so. You know what I mean? Well, they talking about date the rate, marry the mortgage. If you still dating the rate, y'all go together. You know what I mean? Y'all in a committed relationship. If you dating that rate, y'all go together. You know? So let's jump back in. Let me share my screen because y'all know I can get off and be way over somewhere else. You back, this about foreclosures. So, okay, we back. We back. I just hopped on here, daily job cuts, because I'm trying to see what's going on across the country outside of my little bubble. Boom, boom, boom. Anything regarding everything's going to be households living paycheck to paycheck is on the rise. So if you are new to daily job cuts, on the left side of the screen are layoffs. On the right side of the screen are jobs that are companies that are closing or filing bankruptcy. Okay. Layoffs on the left, closings to the right. Okay. dailyjobcuts.com. So let's see. Look, all the schools closing down. Queen's University, GE laying off. I just kind of look on here and see another 345. You know what I mean? CNN laying off. And then you can look over here. We've got a lot of restaurants closing down here in Memphis. Restaurants have just not come back since COVID. You know what I mean? But it's all, just give you an idea. Check in sometimes. You never know what's going on in your city, state. We can get so caught up in our own cities. You know what I mean? That if you watch TV, they're going to tell you it's all pink starburst and we just skipping through sunflower fields, right? But it is people getting laid off. For real, for real. You know what I mean? So just check on here. Maybe see, you know what I mean? In case it's some city or state where you are. I like daily job cuts. I also like Warren Tracker. If y'all are familiar with warrentracker.com, and I usually check on 2024, and it shows you a map of layoffs and every company that is warned of layoffs. So Texas, 14,000 people laid off. California, 37,000 people. You know what I mean? All I hope is these people didn't just buy a house. You know what I mean? Washington. But warrentracker.com, dailyjobcuts.com, bookmark them, check back, see what they got going on. Look at your state, because if you watch the news, mainstream media gonna have you thinking it's all gravy everywhere. You know what I mean? But we know what's going on. We know prices are high. Life is high right now. So let's jump into, okay, let's do HUD real quick. I did a video on this. I always do a video on HUD's numbers. It's a housing survey. Hold on, I gotta find it. Here it is. I saw Travis from Real Estate Mindset. He did a video on it. Shout out to Travis from Real Estate Mindset. Absolutely bonkers, if you know Travis. So HUD's report. Gregory, I see you with how many days on the market. Wait till we get there. Wait till you get there. I'm going to put this site in the chat in case y'all want to bookmark it and follow along with me. Boom. I check it every single month. HUD does a survey. Again, they have never asked me in my entire life, right? Never in my entire life have they asked me if I paid my mortgage on time, but maybe they asking some of y'all. Just know they ain't asked me. So to recap, you guys, May's numbers. Let's talk about this. How many homeowners and renters are behind on their mortgage? Because let me say something, right? Hold on, because y'all know when I have to say something, I always put my face back in the screen, right? It is so hard to keep up with foreclosure numbers, right? Because first of all, I don't own a bank, right? So I don't know how many people are in default. But they're supposed to report these numbers. But if you look at Black Knight has one number about how many people are in foreclosure. HUD has a completely different number. Black Knight is saying we have 1.8 million people behind on their mortgage, right? HUD has us at almost 4 million people behind on their mortgage. So I I mean, if you are comparing data and reports and sources, you're going to be lost in the sauce. Just going to be lost. But I'm going to always lean towards the highest number. And I really think that, shoot, there's a real estate watchman. If y'all are out of Texas or want to follow real estate watchman. He's got a great YouTube channel out there in Texas. Shout out to him. You just honestly don't have accurate data. You know what I mean? And I feel like if they gave us accurate data, we would probably all panic, right? That's why they can't share accurate numbers with us, right? But you're going to be confused if you're trying to compare reports, because honestly, they are so off. But honestly, if they ask like our mortgage servicers, that's Mr. Cooper, that's Bank of America, that's JP Morgan, these bank servicers who hold the majority of our loans, they know how many loans are in default, right? But they dare not tell us that, right? You know what I mean. But let me put the numbers back up. HUD, let's go back to HUD survey, right? You know what I say, you got to multiply by 2. You always got to multiply by 2. There's some people who think, there aren't a lot of foreclosures. Then there's some people who think maybe it's like 4 to 5 million. And then you got those people who think it's like 10 to 12 million, right? You pick and choose where you think we are as far as foreclosures go. But this is May's number, so I can tell you where we are based on last month to this month. Housing insecurity. Blink if you can see my screen. Can everybody see my screen? Blink for me. Make sure, I believe y'all can see it. Yes, check him out. Thanks, Jackie, for blinking. Thank you. So let's read real quick. Okay, so housing insecurity appears to be stabilizing for renters. Don't you love like news article titles, right? Because if you were to read that, you'd be like, this is going to be a positive article, right? That's how the news does you. That's how they do us, right? Housing insecurity appears to be stabilizing for renters. But if you read a little further, shows that approximately 11.4% or 5.2 million renter households were behind on their rental payments. But if you read the subject of that article, it appears to be stabilizing for renters. We have 5.2 million renter households were behind on their rental payments in April, down from 12% or 5.5 million 1 year ago. So an estimated 4.1% or 1.87 million renter households feared eviction was imminent in the next 2 months. You know what began me is like, if 5 million people behind on their rent, why only 1 million fear eviction? I would think 5 million people feared eviction, but I don't know. See what I'm saying? They don't ask me anything, right? Maybe they just said, shoot, I ain't paid in 2 years and I have not been evicted yet. Why should I be scared to be evicted now? Maybe that's what they're thinking, but I'm just saying. Again, they've never asked me my opinion on my mortgage or anything else like that. So moving right along to homeowners. Approximately 5.7% or 4.67 million homeowner households were behind on their mortgage payments in April, up from 4.8% or 4.0 million year over year. An estimated 1.3% or 1.07 million homeowners feared foreclosure was imminent in the next 2 months. Again, if 4.67 million homeowners are behind on their mortgage, 4.67 homeowners need to fear foreclosure. That's just what I'm thinking. But what do I know, right? So that was the previous month. Keep in mind, there is always a lag. There's always a lag, right? Well, I was reading RE Watchman. I own a rental in Bartlett. There's a big difference in rent demand and credit profiles now versus 2022. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys, y'all know me, real estate watchman, threw my whole train of thought off. But I don't know what I was about to say. I was going to say if 4 million people are behind on their mortgage, 4 million people need to know, I get sidetracked easily, like a piece of dust could fly by and I'd be like, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. 4 million people should fear foreclosure is what I would think. But again, you guys, a lady called me, bought her house in 2022, right? 2022. She's in foreclosure now, reached out to me. Y'all, that lady ain't never paid a mortgage in the whole time she has had her house. 2022. And you have to remember, because I think a lot of times we forget what has happened in our housing market in the last 4 years, right? Since COVID, going on 5 years now. People, and she's not the first one. Let me be honest, she's not the first one. A lot of people who bought in 2021, 2022 bought their house, right? What did we have going on there? We had an eviction moratorium covering everybody, right? You could not foreclose on people in 2021, 2022. People got a break on their mortgage. You didn't have to pay your mortgage then. So people, this lady bought her house in 2022, y'all, and I guess she fell right up under that moratorium. Ain't never paid a mortgage. It is 2024, right? Because when she bought the house, the moratorium was covering everybody. So she didn't have to, not that she didn't have to pay, but she didn't have to pay. You know what I mean? And she didn't. And she's not the first person who has said that. So she owes that whole entire loan balance, right? And now here we are, 2024, the banks are starting to foreclose and she's got an auction scheduled. And it's like, how much she owed a whole loan. I think she owes more than the loan now, right? But she's never made a payment since 2022 on her house. So just now, banks are starting to foreclose on people. But I think people have to be like grossly behind on their mortgage for a bank to foreclose, because a lot of my auctions are getting postponed. A lot of my auctions are getting canceled. But that moratorium, and I'm not being insensitive, right? I know COVID was hard for everybody, right? A lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people died. You know what I mean? And I think now we are feeling that pain of letting people not pay their mortgage for 2 and 3 years, right? Some COVID protection just expired, a couple of months ago. We still got COVID protection on some people right now. Think about that, right? Like, I don't think people, I don't know, when you get a break from something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, when you let people skate, they're gonna slip and slide. But you like, okay, you don't have to pay your mortgage right now, but you're gonna have to pay it. Right? The banks are in business to make money at the end of the day, when it's all said and done. Because at the end of the day, y'all know I'm from Memphis, the day gonna end. But at the end of the day, banks are in business to make money. That is the bottom line, right? So when you see Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, when they all start coming out with these special programs, because we love the community and we love Black and brown people and minorities, and here's 100% financing, y'all, these banks not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. They need money, right? So even if they give you a moratorium, or even if they put your payments in forbearance, they coming to collect, right? They coming to get their money eventually. So the longer you don't pay, like, it's still building up. The interest is still being calculated, right? And that's what I have seen people in foreclosure that they don't realize, right? They call me 2 days before their auction and they're like, okay, I want to sell. My payoff is $50,000, right? I'm like, order your payoff. If you work with people in foreclosure, time out. If y'all work with people in foreclosure, tell them to order their payoff, okay? Because what people don't realize is just because they haven't paid in a year and 2 years, the interest that is accumulating over 2 years and 3 years is going to hit them in their behind. I had to make sure this show stayed PG. You know what I mean? But like, I've seen people when they order their payoff, right? That interest that has accrued from them not paying in a year, 2 years, $19,000, $20,000, $29,000 in interest that has been added to their payoff, you guys. That's what people are like, because banks gonna get their money at the end of the day. At the end of the day, they're gonna collect their money, right? So if you don't pay it, they're gonna come back and get your house, is what I'm saying. So plus foreclosure fees, absolutely. Foreclosure fees, attorney fees, they're going plus interest. You know, you thought your payout was 50,000, it's really 78. You know what I mean? Like, but I digress. I digress. My point is, the lady bought in 2022. She's not the first person. A lot of people who bought post COVID fell right up under that moratorium and have not had to pay. They just have not had to pay. So, you know what I mean? But half of them are upside down now, right? You haven't paid. The market has changed. Home values are decreasing. Now you want to sell, but you upside down, right? So if you know how to short sale, all you real estate agents, y'all better make sure y'all know how to initiate a short sale. That's all I'm saying. Even though Matt done it before. Yep. Attorney free and clear homes are going up for auction. I've seen it before. You know, a lot of people forget, even though a house is free and clear, right? You got to pay property taxes on those properties a lot of times. A lot of times people who are free and clear will take out a HELOC, will refinance and pull some money out, and then can't pay that payment and lose that house like that too. You know, it's just so many things. Okay, let's go back because you know I can get off and we'll look up and it'll be like midnight. It'll be Friday on this live. But I just wanted to say that. Yes, go ahead, short sales. If you're an agent and know how to short sale, I'm telling you, I've initiated a couple of short sales here in the last couple of months. So that was that was so funny. I just skipped. Like I was saying, we're back to the numbers. Y'all know I get off. Absolutely. Absolutely, insurance is expensive. And then, you know, if you don't pay your insurance or if these insurance companies drop you, then the mortgage company will put forced insurance on you. And they said that's like double, like typical insurance rates. If the mortgage company puts that forced insurance on you. But I mean, if your insurance company drops you, you know what I mean? Or they raise their rates so high, taxes and insurance and life. That's all I can say. Some people just not getting insurance, right? You know what I mean? If it's free and clear, they just saying, you know what? We're going to take our chances. Okay, so that was May. That was last month. Let's jump into where we are now. I wonder if the numbers have gone up or gone down. I'm sure we all kind of have an idea that we aren't getting better, right? And reverse mortgage, absolutely. Absolutely. They charge interest too, especially if you have an adjustable rate. Reverse mortgage. A lot of these people who got adjustable rate mortgages are adjusting. Them adjustables are adjusting and they finding that payment out of reach. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of things going on. Just a lot. Okay, so let's jump into this report just came out like 3 days ago, you guys. So let's see where we are right now. Again, they never asked me. Right? So just to be clear, so y'all see where we are. I know I'm clicking back and forth, but the month before 11.4% or 5.2 million renters, and we had 5.7 and 4.67 million homeowners. Here we are now. This report just came out last week. So they kept the same title. I see they didn't have to change that in the report, did they? They just kept the same title. Shows that approximately 11.1% or 5.1 million renter households are still behind on their rental payments, right? Down from 12.4 or 5.7 million 1 year ago. Let's see. 2.3 million renter households feared eviction was imminent in the next 2 months. Imagine landlords, right? Imagine people who are depending on renters to pay their rent, right? Like, what do they do? What about investors and landlords like that? You know what I mean, you guys? Homeowners, approximately 5.3% or 4.35 million homeowner households were behind on their mortgage payments in May, which is up from 4.9% or 4.08 million year over year. So the numbers have creeped up just a little bit. I feel like somebody is really at HUD doing these reports. They'd be like, just change the number, change it from a 7 to an 8. Make it 4.08. You know what I mean? Who knows? The number might be 8.4 million, but they're like, we can't put that number, put 4.08 million. You You never know. You know what I mean? You never know. Numbers can be changed and they won't ever tell us, right? Until the bottom falls out and, you know, you know. An estimated 1.28% or 1.05 million homeowners feared foreclosure was imminent in the next 2 months, you guys. So those are the latest homeowners that are behind. You will not see these numbers on the news. Do I believe these numbers? I believe these numbers are much higher. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think the numbers are higher, honestly. I believe that number could be 8.04. Um, or hold on, that's not even the right one. It could be 5 point. Maybe they just changed the numbers around. 5.43 million. Who knows? Could be 35.4 million. It's not funny. It's not funny. Okay, you guys. So that's HUD's report. I dropped that in the chat for you. Again, it is a housing survey. They've never asked me. Have they asked any of y'all? Probably not. But I feel like Mr. Cooper, Bank of America, Jamie Dimon, all of them know the numbers, right? They know the numbers down to the penny at the bank, right? They probably run their report every week and probably like, oh heck, another 100,000 ain't pay their mortgage, right? We got another 100,000 90-day past due. You know what I mean? They know the number down to a T, but we won't ever see that in mainstream media, right? It's got to get real bad for us to hear about it, right? By the time we hear about it, it's going to be like horrible, right? We don't ever know ahead of time. Some banks are foreclosing on homes that don't have insurance on them. I could see foreclosure. So would that be time when you bid on a HELOC when the home is free and clear, but the homeowner has taken out? Okay, so if that's the only loan sitting on that house and it's a HELOC, then yes, you can bid on that. But don't bid on a HELOC with a primary mortgage in front of it, right? Because that HELOC will be a second. You don't ever want to bid on a second with the first sitting out there. I don't want to confuse anybody, but young tuber, yes to that question. If that's the only loan sitting out there, yes, you can bid on that. But not if it's a primary and then a HELOC, right? No numbers, unlike they didn't know. Right, Lois, you got to watch, what's my movie? Inside Job, right? And then you see how much they really knew and didn't tell us and all that. Inside Job, one of my favorite movies about the last housing crash. Absolutely watch it, you guys, The Inside Job. I think it's free on Amazon Prime right now. So let's jump into foreclosure cities and states, you guys. Y'all know I'm an Adam. Am I an Adam fan? I mean, I like to read the reports. I don't believe anybody's report is accurate. Y'all watch The Inside Job. It is a good movie. It just pisses you off though, right? The Inside Job, really good movie. It just makes you mad by the end of it though, honestly, to see how things happen. But I think it also shows that you can't always believe what you see. You know what I mean? And we all know that, right? But when you actually see how things unraveled in the last housing crash, you're like, when you like, people would never do that. You know, people would never do that to other people. And you're like, shoot, never say never. Just when you think somebody is never going to do something, they start nevering like they ain't never before, right? So when it come to money, maybe all bets are off. People will sell their mama for money. Trust and believe. Watch The Inside Job. You guys watch that. So let's talk about foreclosure cities and states. Look at me. I'm like, you know, you see numbers. I think after I've done this for so long and I was working during the last housing crash, you read reports and you're just like, okay, the numbers are ticking up. But I work behind the scenes and I see, you know what I mean? I know it's so many people in foreclosure that that the media does not show, right? You just don't show it. So anyway, let's read this. Let's see. Let me know if they call out your city, your state. By the time we get to the end of this report, we will know who was right when it came to foreclosure timelines. Again, I wanted y'all to guess how long it is taking for the average foreclosure in the United States right now, from the default notice all the way to the bank repossession. How many days do you think it is taking right now for a property to go through foreclosure? Absolutely. Absolutely. Women of wealth, how you gonna ask me a question like that? If the government doesn't seize the property in 10 years, what happens after that? I don't know. I guess the homeowner chilling, free and clear. I'm laughing at your question. My hypothesis is, my hypothesis is, I mean, if they let you slap for 10 years, what at that point you get like rights, don't you? You a full blown. That's don't you get like? I mean, that's how squatters get their properties, and after you stay for so long, you know, it belonged to you. And if you've been there 10 years, that is your property, right? Um, okay. I see y'all's guesses. I see your guesses. Let's jump in and read the report. So, blah 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 blah. The report shows there are a total of 177,431 U.S. properties with foreclosure filings. This is the first 6 months. We're at a mid-year check-in, right? We've done quarter one, quarter two. This just lets us know where we are as far as foreclosures, cities, states. Boom. Where are the most foreclosures concentrated at right now? Again, like I've said, foreclosure are three different phases. Usually, the homeowner gets behind on their mortgage for 3 months, right? Then that default notice goes out. They send that notice of default, that notice of sale. Then their auction is scheduled. It's usually 30 days after. I live in Tennessee, which is a non-judicial state. Once they send you that notice of default, your auction is scheduled 30 days after that, and they will take your house. Okay, now if you live in Florida or some of these other judicial states, the process is a little longer. I think the homeowner has like 20 days to contest that foreclosure. They can get an attorney, they can go to court. It can draw out. You know what I mean? So the notice of default is filed, the auction is scheduled, and then the bank repossesses the property and it becomes an REO property. Okay. So let's see. So 177,431 properties had a foreclosure filing. Can y'all see this report? Look at that. This is a report that shows auction foreclosures activity by year, all the way back to 2008. Look at that. January to June, properties with foreclosure filings. Let's make sure we understand what we're looking at on this report. Properties with foreclosure filings. So in 2008, you guys, let me make sure y'all can see this report. I think my face is in the bottom of it. I'm going to check y'all's questions in a minute. Let me scroll up just a little bit because I think my face is blocking my big face in the square. There we go. I think y'all can see better now. So look, in 2008, we had 1.3 million properties with a foreclosure filing on it. 2009, 1.5. Our peak was in 2010 with 1.6 million properties have foreclosure filings on them. And then go down to 1.1, 1.0, 800,000. So you see during COVID, the numbers were low. And right now we're sitting at 177,000 properties with foreclosure filings on them for the first half of the year. Nothing. You guys, I'm just looking. I had to reread the title of this report. The first half. So the first half of 2008, there was 1.3 million properties with foreclosure filings on them. 2010, because I was looking at them numbers and I'm like, we have more foreclosures than that in 2010. So it's the first half of the year by each. Okay. Because I'm like, hold on, them numbers not right. Okay. So that's the first half of the year. So you can see during COVID and all that. So let's jump down. Let's scroll down on this report. What did you say? MK, is 2024 number low due to big backlog? I think it's due to banks haven't foreclosed. Do you know what I mean? COVID, you see numbers have not, when you look at 2020 right there, right? That's when COVID hit, moratorium hit, and banks have just now started foreclosing on people again, right? They've just now kind of flipped the switch barely. Let me say it again. We're not going to see any foreclosures till after the election. If they got to suspend everybody's mortgage payment, they're not going to foreclose on people. Not a huge number of foreclosures until after the election. period. That's not going to happen. So everybody get your coins, hide them up under your mattress, put them in a shoebox, do whatever you got to do, save your coins, and then you're going to buy in 2025, right? 2025, 2026. Waves take a while. Don't forget that. The market crashed, and let's look at that report so you can see what I'm saying. The market crashed in 2008, right? We didn't get our peak of foreclosures until 2010. So it was a lag, at least a 2-year. Hold on, because I'm not saying the market gonna crash. I did not say that. I'm saying it is always a lag and a delay when it comes to foreclosures. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So even if they start in 2025, the peak of foreclosures probably 26, 27 is what I'm saying. So govern yourselves accordingly. You got time to get your credit right and save your coins in your shoebox, is all I'm saying, up under the mattress, if you don't believe in banks like my grandma. So let's keep moving. So here we go. States that saw the greatest increase in foreclosure activity compared to a year ago. South Dakota. Shout out to South Dakota, up 93%. North Dakota, up 86%. I got feelings about this. Kentucky, up 73%. Massachusetts, up 46%. And Idaho, up 30%. First of all, North Dakota and South Dakota, yeah, they ain't never been on the list. But keep in mind, we haven't foreclosed in so long, right? We haven't foreclosed since COVID. So any increase in foreclosures is going to look like a huge increase, right? So in North Dakota and South Dakota, first of all, no shade to North Dakota and South Dakota, but they ain't even got like a ton of houses like that. Like compared to California and Texas and Florida, they don't have a ton of houses in North Dakota and South Dakota, okay? It's a whole field and farm, you know what I mean? No shade to South Dakota, you know what I mean? I bought my property first pretty much at the bottom after selling it, and it was 12. Yeah, see, it takes a while. It's always a lag, right? So no shade to South Dakota and North Dakota, but I'm saying when you don't have a huge number of properties and homes and all that kind of stuff, and you go from 0, no foreclosures, to shoot 5, they're gonna be like, foreclosures up 93%. I'm like, well, if you only got 20 houses and 5 of them going to foreclosure, you know what I mean? You're right, that's a jump. But I'm exaggerating on that. But you know what I'm saying? Like North Dakota, South Dakota are not on our typical foreclosure list, right? But they probably did get an increase in foreclosures. So it looked like they have like 93%. If they put it in actual numbers, y'all, we'd probably be like, okay, why are you even on the list? You know what I mean? Y'all probably, never mind. Because the trolls from South Dakota and North Dakota gonna come for me. I love y'all in South Dakota and North Dakota. Shout out to y'all. Kentucky up 73%, Massachusetts up 46%, and Idaho up 30%. Right? Let's keep it pushing. So, states with the highest foreclosure rates in the first half, I highlighted everything. States with the highest foreclosure rates in the first half of 2024 were New Jersey, Illinois, Florida, Nevada, and South Carolina. I'm not surprised about New Jersey. I'm not surprised about Illinois. New Jersey, y'all been on the list. Illinois, Chicago, y'all stay on the list. Florida, that's Lakeland, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Orlando, Florida. Miami been trying to hop on that list the past year or so. Nevada, that's Las Vegas. South Carolina, that's Columbia and Spartanburg, South Carolina. That doesn't surprise me. Other states with the first half foreclosure rates among the 10 highest nationwide: Maryland, Connecticut. I'm calling out some of y'all states, aren't I? Maryland, Connecticut, Delaware, Ohio, and Indiana. What y'all got going up there in the Northeast? DMV almost, right? What y'all got going up there? Taxes high? Everything just high up there, right? Y'all high up in the United States. High up north. Highest metro foreclosure rates. Let's talk about it. Among the 224 metropolitan statistical areas with a population of at least 200,000. Okay, so the problem I have with these reports a lot of times is I think they pull public notices. I think that's what they pull. I got to scroll down and see what they do. But I know like a lot of these rural cities and rural counties, they're not online, right? They aren't. I know Mississippi, a lot of Mississippi is not online. Even when I file the notices for the attorneys a lot of times, right? I'm talking about I file that notice of sale with the county, right? And in Mississippi, I have to manually go down to the records and deeds office and hand them the paper for them to file it, right? And then they put it up on the bulletin board in the court, right? So I know Adam is not pulling from that, right? So I know a lot of times, so I guess they pull what they can pull from, but I know like these, Mississippi, they want you to fax some stuff. And I'm like, we faxing in 2024, but okay. So how accurate is the information? And when you think about the report that we just saw for HUD with 4 million people behind, I think these numbers kind of off. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's jump in because, I digress sometimes. So high foreclosure rates. We got those with the highest foreclosure rates in the first half were Lakeland, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Atlantic City. Look, I'm just highlighting everything. Columbia, South Carolina, Atlantic City, New Jersey, Cleveland, Ohio, and Spartanburg, South Carolina. I don't know what's up in South Carolina. Colette, what y'all got going on? Y'all taxes high? Insurance high? I don't know what y'all got going on. But somebody, was it Travis? I don't know. Somebody posted a foreclosure attorney out of South Carolina, and it was a picture of their desk, right? And they had like files stacked up of like people behind foreclosure folders stacked up on their desk. So I'm like, what y'all got going on in South Carolina, right? I'm seeing properties that are part of big investors looking run down with or without tenants, and some of them are struggling but probably won't dump any of their properties. So I feel like a lot of landlords are struggling. Y'all, every time I look at the foreclosure notice of default, it's all foreclosure. It's all investors, like a ton of investors, especially coming out of Atlanta. Y'all got a lot of foreclosures in Atlanta, in Georgia. Do y'all remember on a live one night, I was pulling up properties in Atlanta on PropWire, and all of them were investor-owned properties that were on the foreclosure list. Every time I tried to look at an owner, it was like an LLC, right? And it's not always like big investors, right? Because most investors are just individuals who own like 5 to 7 properties, right? That's your typical investor. They're not all BlackRock, Blackstone, hedge funds, right? So a lot of investors are struggling, right? And these, especially if they got hard money lenders foreclosing on these investors. Shoot, it's just, the market was good when it was good, and then it just flipped so quick, right? And investors could not get off their properties, right? I've seen a lot of properties, especially out of Atlanta and Georgia, where when I look at the picture, they're like half done. Like they started renovation and could not finish the renovation on those properties, is what I'm starting to see. I'm even starting to see like lots of land, lots of plots of land. What are we cat in the hat over here today? Lots of land being foreclosed on, like builders buying land and can't pay, for it. I mean, if you can't build on it and sell the houses, I mean, I know we all think that, like when you think of builders and investors, that they just sitting on cash on top of cash, right? Like they Scrooge McDuck or something like that. But that's not true. Most of these builders are taking out loans, right? They got to be paid back, right? I told y'all, D.R. Horton, we talked about this on the last video. D.R. Horton, they saying they got a big interest payment coming due. That's why they selling their houses to hedge funds right now, because they got an interest payment coming due that they can't pay. But y'all ain't hear that from me, all 89 of y'all. Yep, balloon payments, holding costs, you know what I mean? That's a lot. And the market has changed. During, when was that? When rates were down to 2%, baby, builders and investors, you couldn't tell them nothing. You buying properties, flipping them, making money, boom. But then the interest rate shot up and you can't get off these properties, The circle of life, you guys, the circle of life, Chicago significantly less revenue tax due to failed empty commercial rate, resulting in a substantial increase in our property taxes to fill the funding gap. Maybe commercial, that'll probably just like be the tipping point. Once commercial start collapsing, when banks start collapsing, when one bank what was the first one? Republic? Who collapsed first last year? Look, when it's 1, it's 2. When it's 2, it's 4, right? When one bank start crumbling, just know It's some more coming after that. It ain't never just one by itself. So that too, I'm seeing that too on Party's person last today. Yeah, partially rehab. You just can't afford it, right? And then you figure I can't sell it. And then Silicon Valley. That's who it was. You're right. Thank you, Timothy. And you're predicting the profit that you're gonna get, and right, and you're seeing the market and the homes are being reduced. And I guess you know what I mean. It's real estate investing. It's risky, right? It is what it is. So let's keep moving because y'all know I can talk on here. Get to talking. Other major metro areas with foreclosure rates ranking among the top 10 highest in the first half: Jacksonville, Florida; Bakersville, California; Elkhart, Indiana; Orlando, Florida; and Chicago, Illinois. We are not surprised by Jacksonville, Bakersville, Indiana been on the list. Somebody commented and said Elkhart, like they had a factory or they had some factory down there or something that shut down. And that's why that's what happened in their market out there. Because people always comment on I think they said a factory, they got an RV. I don't know. Something happened, like a business closed down out there, which is causing their housing market to decline. Orlando, Florida, and Chicago, Illinois, right? Chi-Town stay on the list. All of Florida. Florida was the epicenter in the last housing crash. Florida will be the epicenter in this. Florida and Texas. Texas and Florida, RE Watchman, they said San Antonio is going to be the epicenter. That's what they're talking about. San Antonio, Texas, and Florida. Those are the states to watch, Shoot, and South Carolina. You know what I mean? Let me read. Traditional real estate sales are falling part of the closing table. Look. Yeah, I saw China, one of their biggest builders, like when it filed bankruptcy, like the biggest builder out of China. A camper factory. That's what it was. Gene, see, I knew it was something, an RV or something factories out there in Indiana. That's what people were saying, which caused them to be on this list. So let's talk about foreclosure starts, you guys. Foreclosure starts. That is that first phase of foreclosure. Like I always say, you get behind that notice of default. That notice of default is filed. So that's what a foreclosure start is. Foreclosure starts are down 3.5% because these banks is not trying to foreclose on these people. A total of 130,369 U.S. properties started the foreclosure process in the first 6 months of 2024, which is down 3.5% from the first half of last year and down 32% from the first half of 2020. So our number's lower than 2020. Oh, okay. Okie dokie. States that saw the greatest number of foreclosure starts in the first half of 2024. Texas is number one with 15,375 foreclosure starts. Next, number two is Florida with 15,251 foreclosure starts. California with 14,964 new foreclosures. New York with 7,523, and Illinois has 7,240 new foreclosures for the first half of 2024, which does not surprise me. Texas, Florida, and California got a ton of foreclosure starts. I'm not surprised. I thought Texas had the most REOs right now. We can look at that and see. I'll look on Realty Track. Again, I don't trust anybody's numbers. I don't trust anybody's numbers at all, actually. Let me see y'all's comments. The four most populous states. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like the biggest states out here. I'm not surprised. Texas and Florida. We're going to watch them, right? We're going to always watch Texas and Florida. So REO properties, that's if your auction mama cannot sell it at auction, which is happening, you guys. If you bought post-COVID the last 4 years, you owe that entire loan balance. Nobody comes to see me at the auction wanting to pay market price. You come see me at the auction for a discount, right? Nobody paying full price at the auction. And a lot of properties that are going up for auction the opening bid is higher than what the house is worth. Because if they bought it 2 years ago, home prices have started going down. They got their property at the peak of the market. So now they are upside down, basically. So you're not going to go to the auction and pay for a house, that's not even worth what you pay for it. Let me give you an example real quick. Y'all know this site. I've shared it with everybody. This is a good auction site. I auction for them. I auction for this company. This is one of the companies that I auction for. If you scroll down, let's look at auctions this week. I auctioned yesterday. Blink if you can see this, you guys. Let me know if y'all can see this, because I know I'm clickety clacking real quick. California has 36,000 total layoffs coming third and fourth. California. Blinking, thank you. California, Florida, and Texas, you guys, y'all know. So just like I'm saying, we're talking about REO properties. If it does not sell at auction, it will revert back to the bank and become a what? REO, real estate owned by the bank. So this is this week's schedule. These are properties that went up for auction this week, 7, 8, July 8th, the week of July 8th. So lots of postponements, lots of cancellations. They might have sold. They might have filed bankruptcy. But this is the opening bid amount. This is what it sold for or did not sell for. If this number and this number are the same, that means it did not sell. Okay, that means it probably reverted back to the bank. So it is a lot of properties. Okay, that one sold for $5 over, 125, 130. This one reverted back to the bank. Lots of postponements, lots of cancels, reverted back. This one sold 2622 West Manchester Boulevard. Y'all know I'm gonna look. Y'all know what y'all get when y'all get on this live with me. I'm gonna go look and see what's going on. Oh, it's a commercial property coming out of Inglewood. Opening bid was 500,000. It sold for $700,000 this week. Okay. So moving right along, this one, 2.4 million, did not sell, reverted back to the bank. These are going to be REO properties. This one sold 214,000. They bid it up to 446,000. This is an example of when I always say request your excess funds, right? What are your excess funds? That opening bid is the loan balance. This is what the homeowners owed. It got bid up to 446,000. The difference between 214,000 and 446, the homeowners are entitled to that money. If this was my property and it went into foreclosure, I can call and request that difference. What is that, $200,000? You better call them, because you know the bank ain't gonna call you and tell you got some money, right? But they will subtract any liens that you might have on it. You know, the attorney's gonna take their foreclosure fees, all that kind of stuff. But you can request your excess funds, right? I know a lot of people deal in surplus funds. That is what that is, right? They must have had some equity in their house for it to go bid up that high. You know I'm about to look. Look at me. I know I'm about to look. Coming out of Linwood. There it is. Ooh, they bought in 1976. One of y'all should have called them. Why y'all ain't called them? Why y'all ain't called them? Thanks, Jean. Thanks for the love. Jean, I appreciate that. So let's see. That's the house. Opening bid was 214,000. They must have refinanced it since 1976. It's worth, what did it say it was worth? 551,000. It got bid up to 446,000. They must have refinanced it somewhere along the way. Somewhere along the way. 1976. Y'all should have called them. Somebody, well, y'all know better. Y'all know better. Y'all should have called them and talked to them. Okay. That sucks, right? If you bought a house in 1976 and lose it, a foreclosure like 30 years, I mean, what is this, 40 years later, 50 years later? Right? Golly, you hate that. Postponement. What, this one sold for $2 over? Didn't sell, that one reverted, becomes an REO. That one went back to the bank as an REO. That one sold for what, $2,000 over, that one. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of these properties are going back to the bank. So that's what an REO is. 800,000 didn't sell. That one sold. That one sold for $1 over. That was my auction right here. This was me this week. It sold for $1 over. That guy got it for $1 over. Didn't sell, went back to the bank, went back to the bank. Boom, 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 boom. All those went back to the bank. So that's what an REO is, just for clarification. If you wanted to see a little proof, I got y'all a little proof. You know what I mean? So could you talk how to evict former owner after deed trade? Cash for keys is not an option. Then you're going to have to go to court. If they live in that property and they're not entertaining your request for cash for keys, I mean, are they talking to you at all? Any auctions? I'll show you where to find auctions in Chicago. Just remind me. Just remind me. You know, when you buy a house and somebody lives in it, you just at the mercy of, if they take cash for keys, awesome, right? Like if you can find a pain point, like you need help moving, like do you need, I'll give you first and last month on a new place. But if they are just not agreeable, then you got to go to court. You know what I mean? You got to go through that eviction process. Okay. And you try to talk to them and send them letters and, you know, lead with love. You know, that's my strategy, lead with love. Then you might got to go to court. You know what I mean? Don't be trying to get your friends to strong arm them. You know what I mean? But you might just got to go to court. You know what I mean? To get them out of that harbor, because you don't want them to tear up your house. That's the other thing. You don't want them like set it on fire or nothing. You know what I mean? But you might got to go to court. But see, reach out, send them a letter, put a letter in the mailbox. You know, maybe you can find their motivation, their pain point on what they need to get out. Maybe they don't have money to move. Look, I'm going to bring you some boxes. What you need? You want me to bake you a pound cake? Like, what you want? You want some tape and some wrapping paper? Here's some newspaper to wrap up your glasses. What you need me to do? You know what I mean? You just don't want them to go through and set it on fire. You know what I mean? That's the part about buying properties with people living in it. You know what I mean? I'm ready to get New York foreclosure. I know it's time to leave with love. That's right. You better New Jersey on the list. Did you see New Jersey was on the list? So, okay. So back to REO properties, you guys, because y'all know I can get off. So lenders foreclosed on a total of 18,726 properties, which is a small number when you think of the big scheme of things. As a small number. I'm telling you, these banks ain't trying to take these people's houses. So if you're a homeowner and you're behind on your mortgage, you need to take advantage of this time where the bank is giving you this time. You know what I mean? Take advantage of that. Down 17% from the first half of 2023 and down 10% from the half of 2022, but up 92% from the first half. Duh. We know it's up because they weren't foreclosing in 2021. States that had the greatest number of REO in the first half of 2024. California with 1,575 REOs, Pennsylvania with 1,568, Illinois with 1,540, Michigan with 1,432, and Texas with 1,197 bank-owned properties. Where do you find bank-owned properties, friends and family? You find them on HUD, homestore.gov. I'm going to drop that in the chat. HUD Home Store. The link in here for this new list. They want to stay. Ooh, I don't know. You going to trust them to be your tenants? You know what I mean? I don't know. HUD Home Store. HomePath. I do this every time I come on here, y'all. HomePath.com is, who is that? Fannie Mae. Yep, that's Fannie Mae's REO site. VRM Properties. That is the veterans REO site. So those are VA loans that have been foreclosed on, you know, veteran foreclosures. VRMproperties.com. HUD Home Store, HomePath, Home Steps, HOMESTEPS, because I can spell. Home Steps, that's Freddie Mac's REO site. HomePath, HUD Home Store, Home Step, VRMproperties.com. That's the VA one. That is where you find REO properties. Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate with the bank. Ask for repairs, ask for closing costs, ask for down payment, ask for everything that you want to ask for when it comes to the bank, right? Because y'all know I'm getting my property for $22.17, right? Right on the beach, right probably in the path of the hurricane, where I got to board up my windows every time a hurricane comes, right on the beach, for $22.17. Okay. So quarter two, hold on. We're about to get to the foreclosure timelines. Have everybody put their guess in? How long are foreclosures right now? The average time it is taking for a bank to foreclose on a property from start to finish. Did everybody put their guess in that wants to guess? Did everybody put their guess in that wants to guess? S. Zaki, I will. My $22.17 REO that I'm going to get from the bank. Y'all just wait. 180 days minimum. Everybody's saying 180 days. 24 months. I'm watching. Okay. I saw y'all's guesses. Let's scroll down, shall we? Right? And let's see how long it's taking for banks to foreclose on people. Are y'all ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Average time, here we go, to foreclose for second quarter in a row. So properties foreclosed in quarter 2024 have been in the foreclosure process an average of 815 days. That's how long it is taking the average foreclosure in quarter two. But let's talk about states, right? Let's see what state has the longest foreclosure time. You said 210. You said 24 years. Let's talk about the states, right? Let's see. Y'all check out this. Look at these numbers, you guys. States with the average foreclosure timeline for homes foreclosed. Longest, Louisiana, 3,686 days. If you live in Louisiana, baby, you can just stay for free, right? What's 3,686 divided by 365? What is that, like 5 years? Hawaii, 2,500 days. New York, 2,034 days. Georgia, 1,929 days. And Nevada, 1,852 days. I bet some of these states are judicial states where they got to go to court and they can contest it and all that. But still, golly, Louisiana, 3,686 days. I'm telling you, you ain't pay your mortgage. You don't have to pay your mortgage for 3,000 days. Can you imagine? States with the I'd be nervous every day. I'd be like, I don't know. Anxiety would be through the roof. But I guess after the first 365 days and nothing has happened to you and you haven't paid your mortgage, your blood pressure regulates. And then after 2 years and ain't nothing happened to you, you like, well, heck, I guess they forgot about my loan. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I got a free house. I don't know, you guys. Not being insensitive to anybody. You know what I mean? States with the shortest average foreclosure timelines. New Hampshire, 82 days. Texas, 147 days. Minnesota with 151 days. Oregon with 206 days. And Montana with 212 days. That's the shortest average foreclosure timeline. So if you live in New Hampshire, maybe you better be trying to call your lender and make some arrangements because you got 82 days, right? Average price in Hawaii is 1.3, right? Dang, average price. It's 10 years. Is that what divided by is 10 years? How can that be? Look at me. How can that be? That means people. When was the last housing crash? Look, when was the last house? Like, y'all ain't paid since 2014? I don't know, y'all. Look, I don't know. That's what it says, though. You know what I'm saying? We're taking all these numbers as they come. But, gosh, 10 years? Is your average foreclosure timeline is 10 years? Come on now. Like, what's going on? I don't know. Maybe they was only supposed to be like 368 and somebody mistyped and put a 6 at the end of it. Maybe it's supposed to be 368 days. I don't know. Does the foreclosure, is a way out for some of the ones that bought it wrong? It could be, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's going to hurt your credit, but I mean, people can buy after foreclosure, right? I would say sell it. You know what I mean? Like, instead of foreclosing, instead of letting the bank take your house back, I would try to sell it. If I know that I can't catch up, if I can't, right, or 686, right? If I can't catch up, I've exhausted every single option. Um, if I've done everything I could do and I just can't keep it, I would sell it. You know what I mean? Even what they say, oatmeal is better than no meal, right? Even if I don't make a ton of money off of selling it, at least I'm out from under that house, right? At least my blood pressure is regulated, right? Because now I don't have this stress of this mortgage anymore. But I don't know. You never know what people are going through. When I talk to people in foreclosure, I feel like a lot of them are in denial, right? Which I can't blame them if it's taking banks 2 and 3 years to actually foreclose on you. A lot of people are like, well, shoot, I ain't paid in 2 years and ain't nothing happened. Why would I think this time is any different, right? Why would I think this time my house is really going up for auction, right? Some people just, I don't know, I think in denial, or they've just gotten complacent when it comes to paying their mortgage. Because, I mean, if nothing happened to you and you hadn't paid in a year or 2 years, you know, you just keep not paying, right? And you just wait and see what happened. But I would sell, but that's me. I would sell. Don't be trying to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses are in foreclosure. They in foreclosure. So those were the foreclosure numbers for the halfway first 6 months of the year. You can save up to 50 in payments and put away your payment. Right. True. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. And it's so when I work with people who are in foreclosure and maybe they don't make the amount of money that they thought they should have made on their home, I'm like, you ain't paid in 3 years though. Like, there go all the money. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I had one lady, she refinanced her house and pulled out like $100,000. And then when she turned around to sell it, she thought she was supposed to make another 100 or 200,000. I'm like, ma'am, you already pulled your money out. Like, you know what I mean? But, it's just people being people. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But like I said, we won't see any foreclosures happen until after we get through this election. If they got to suspend everybody's mortgage payment, that's what they will do until we get through this election. So everybody but I mean, if you can get a good deal, if you can get a homeowner if some of these homeowners decide to move, they're getting a break. You know what I mean? If banks decide to foreclose, like actually flip the switch and start rolling with foreclosures, I mean, honestly, what can be said? Like, I'm like, y'all had like 3 years. Y'all haven't paid in 4 years. You had time to move. You had time to sell. Y'all know what I'm saying? But it'll still be people like, I can't believe they foreclosed. I'm like, you ain't paid in 3 years though. Like, you could have had time. It's a lot of banks sitting on huge. We're going to see some more banks collapse for sure. Between commercial and residential, we will see some more banks collapse for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, again, these banks don't want these properties. You know what I mean? They're going to send out an appraiser to appraise that house. I'm looking at her question, not her. I'm looking at that question. Are you finding banks are more willing to negotiate a reduced price when doing a short sale? Yes, I would say yes on my end. Again, what I say, oatmeal is better than no meal, right? Oatmeal is better than no meal, even for a bank sometimes, right? Maybe you can't get this entire loan balance, but I'm going to give you some money instead of you having to maintain this property, sit on this property, right? So yes, always negotiate with the bank, even on a short sale. Yeah, I saw that car payments and everything. I think they said the average car payment right now is like $730, is $736 or something like that is the average car payment right now. You know, um, I don't know what we gonna do, right? Everybody doing buy now, pay later is what they say. Everybody doing all these, buy now, pay later stuff. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. We will see what happens. I think y'all got all the sites that I put up there. I've been on here an hour and 10 minutes. Y'all know my favorite movies, right? The Inside Job, The Big Short, and 99 Houses. Y'all know I love those 3 movies. They're all about the last housing crash. So you guys, what else do I want to tell y'all? I'm uploading a new video to the channel. Coming to America is not about the last housing crash. Oh, I was supposed to show you Chicago auctions, right? That's what we were supposed to talk about real quick. You guys, I always say, I don't know why y'all don't listen to me, but y'all know auction.com is a great site for auctions, right? Auction.com. If you put in Chicago, shout out to everybody who has been going to an auction just to go and see and look around. Chicago, auction.com is a great source for foreclosures and bank owned. You can hop on here and see, put in your city, put in your state. I like auction.com. What else? Hubzoo.com is another auction site, right? Hubzoo, you can put in your Chicago. Boom. Right? They'll pull auctions for you. Why is my mind blank right now? We also like 10X for commercial auctions and foreclosures. If you are looking for commercial, we got office space. I think 10X has everything. Office, multifamily, retail, hotel, Holiday Inn, industrial, and other. 10x.com is a good source for commercial. CREXI.com is another good commercial site. I don't want to sign up. CREXI, they have retail, multifamily, office, industrial, hospitality, mixed use, land, self-storage, mobile home, senior living, special purposes. You can buy the note or the loan, and businesses for sale. Y'all looking for a money tree? Lease properties? Auction properties? Check it out. They got all the, properties that you might look for. This is self-storage, because I know self-storage is a big thing right now. During a foreclosure wave, storage facilities are going to be a great thing to have if we do get that foreclosure to come through, because people are going to need someplace to put their stuff, Actually, it's some money for alter. I need to send you an email. It may help many sit at home. I want to make sure you know about it. Awesome. My email, you guys, is youragentashley@gmail.com. You know that's what would happen, Scott. You dare not say what's really going on behind the curtain, the veil, right? We don't ever find out about things until the last minute, until like the whole house is burnt down, right? We don't ever know when like the smoke detector is going off or it's like smoke starting to come. We don't ever know that. It's when the whole house is like ablaze. Is when they're like, oh yeah, we're in a foreclosure wave. Like people are about to lose their house. That's when we find out, right? That's why we got to do a research right now. So John, hit me up. So just know, right? Anytime I see numbers, you got to watch everything. Like, because the numbers that are being reported, we know they're not right. But when you see everybody selling their stock out the blue, then you're like, oh, okay, something up. Something is up, right? CREXI, boom, 10X. I'm trying to think of the ones that y'all want. Land, I can't type, and farm.com. If you're looking for land for sale, farms, ranches, residential, I don't know why I had to go into my country voice when we start talking about ranches and farms. You know me. Waterfront, recreational, horse property, hunting, boom. Check out landandfarm.com. Okay. Those are some sites that y'all can look for. And y'all know one of my favorite is PropWire. Y'all know I am on PropWire. If you are interested in, so if you were looking in Chicago, right? If you're on PropWire, it's free. It's like PropStream, just free. But it is 10 cents to skip trace. So if I was looking for Chicago, Illinois, I would filter it by auctions and pre-foreclosures. Again, this is propwire.com. Boom. Hold on. I hate when my screen looks like this. And then it filtered. Chicago has 2,772 properties that are up for auction and pre-foreclosure. And you can click on them. Boom. There's a property. It lets you know the estimated value, how much equity. I do not take these numbers as fact, right? We don't take any numbers as fact. So it might show that their balance is 196,000 or their loan amount is this. I don't take anything for fact, but it will give you, some information, right, on the properties. So boom, you can also find the owner. I'm sorry if 62F Carmona is on this live. I did not mean to put all your business out. Comps in the area, history, if it's got a first mortgage sitting out there, boom, 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 boom. So you can put in your city, state, address, county, individual property address. You can put it out there. PropWire is a great resource that I use a lot of times, you guys. Supports the teams that try to subject to and seller financing opportunities. I know subject to and seller financing. I know those are like really popular. I don't teach on those just because I don't know them. I try to stick to what I know, but I know a lot of investors use that type of creative financing. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody trying to, do the best we can do right now. Right. So boop, boop, boop. I think that is it, you guys. I'm uploading a new video. I should be back on here Sunday going live, right? The mentorship is open. I extended it from 12 weeks to 16 weeks because y'all were blowing me up about that mentorship, right? And it's the last one of 2024. So it is the foreclosure mentorship. We will run all the way through September at this point. We meet every other Wednesday. And foreclosure marketing, I tell you everything that I do. I also mail to homeowners that are distressed. All the letter templates are down below. I have a newsletter. It's absolutely free down below. Mentorship information down below, you guys. One hedge fund has 48,000 single family homes, dropping them like hot potatoes, taking huge. I believe it. R.E. Watchman, he talks about in Texas how these hedge funds are trying to offload. Maybe hedge funds are like banks. They in business to make money. If their product ain't making money, they're going to get rid of it. And it doesn't matter if that product is in your neighborhood, if it's your neighbor. And when hedge funds start offloading properties at a discounted rate, that can kill your neighborhood's values. Don't forget that. You know what I mean? They come in and offload and don't care anything about the homeowners who are in that neighborhood. That property is just not making money and they will sell it at a discounted rate. And like I say, the good thing about real estate is your value depends on the homes around you. The bad thing about real estate is your value depends on the homes around you. So if hedge funds start offloading properties in your neighborhood for a discounted rate, that can affect your home value. So, but they don't care. They don't care, right? All I got to say is they don't really care about us. Michael Jackson. MJ. Bars. Okay, you guys, that is all that I got. You guys, shout out. We hit 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yay, you guys. Yay. I will probably be back on Sunday. Yes, all links are below. My email is youragentashleigh@gmail. You guys, I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. I'm Your Agent Ashley everywhere. I'm your auction mama, and I'm Your Agent Ashley everywhere. Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. Email, youragentashleigh@gmail.com. And I think I'm Your Agent Ashley on YouTube or Ashley Pickens. I don't know. Y'all know what I am on YouTube because y'all on here. So that is all I got, you guys. I will see you in the next video. If y'all don't have any questions, y'all already know how hard it is for me to get off this thing. That's like, we all gonna hang up at the same time. No, you hang up. No, you hang up first. We all gonna hang up at the same time because it is 10:20 on the East Coast. It is 9:20 here in Memphis. And in California on the West Coast, I know y'all just finishing breakfast over there in California. So I know y'all got to get ready and go to work in California on the West Coast. So that is what we're going to do, you guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, which will probably be on Sunday, you guys. But I'll send out an email. So subscribe to the newsletter down below. It's free. Property Pulse, subscribe. And that's all I got, you guys. I will see you in the next video. Y'all heard me, Michael Jackson. Y'all know I love some Michael Jackson. Yes, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you're supposed to do. Y'all know what y'all supposed to do. Thanks, you guys, for watching. Have a good night. Bye, you guys.